So yesterday I had a HSG, which is a hysterosalpingogram, and I want to share my experience. So about a month ago, I had a doctor's appointment, and me and my husband have been trying to get pregnant since like last August. So I told my doctor basically, Doc, hasn't happened yet. And my doctor recommended that me and my husband start fertility testing. So my husband had to go for a semen analysis, and I had to go for an HSG. So an HSG is a hysterosalpingogram. It's done in a radiology office, and basically they take this like catheter and they stick it inside of you and they squirt dye in. If the dye is able to travel through your fallopian tubes, that means your fallopian tubes are clear. If the dye is unable to travel through your fallopian tubes, that means you have a blockage. When the doctor told me I had to go for this test, I wasn't that familiar with it, so I came on TikTok, typed in HSG, and the horror stories I found. 95% of the videos that I watched told me that HSGs are the most painful test. Some people compared it to labor. Some people posted videos of them actually getting the test and hysterically crying during it. I was like, I'm not good with pain. This is not going to be good. So here I was freaking myself out for 2 weeks prior to the exam. My husband, my sister, both came with me. My husband took off work. I wanted my whole support system there. I was crying leading up to the exam. I was so nervous for this test. Before going for the test, I had messaged different people in my life that I knew had it, and I asked them if it was painful. A lot of them hadn't had it in 10 years, so I was like, okay, maybe they're just not remembering the pain. Maybe it is painful. I don't know. So yesterday I go for the exam. I arrive. They have me put on 2 gowns, one facing forward, one facing back. They have me lay on the table. The doctor's like, are you nervous? You look nervous. And I'm like, yeah, I'm nervous. And she's like, why? Did you Google it? And I was like, yes. And she's like, well, almost everyone that writes about their experience only writes about it if they had a bad one. So it's really not that bad, she tells me. So this doctor was so nice. I was trusting her, and I was like, okay, I could do this. At first I was like, should I tell them that I can't do it? And tell my doctor, we need to figure something else out because I can't do this. And I'm happy that I didn't do that. So she puts the thing in me that opens me up just like a pap smear. Speculum, I think it's called. And that did not hurt. It actually hurt less than when my gyno does it. And then she stuck the catheter in me, and she said, oh, my eyelash, sorry. She said, I'm gonna put the dye in and we're gonna take pictures. So then I hear her telling the tech, take this picture, take that picture. So I'm like, did she put the dye in already? And from what I saw, putting the dye in is the most painful part. So I'm like, there's no way she put it in already. I don't feel anything. So she continued to take pictures. I'm like, oh my God, could she have put the dye in? Why am I not feeling anything? Then 2 minutes later, she says the exam's over. I'm literally did not feel one bit of pain during this entire thing. The only thing that was annoying was when I had to set up. They had me on a dog wee pad, and all the contrast had to drip out of me. So there was a ton of liquid just pouring out of me, and I was like, this is so gross. And then they had me get dressed, and I had to put paper towels in my underwear. It was so bad. But that is the absolute worst part, and that doesn't hurt. So then we drove home. My husband, every time he hit a bump, it gave me a slight cramping, but that was the extent of my pain throughout this entire process. Keep in mind, I did take 800 milligrams of ibuprofen and 500 milligrams of Tylenol prior to the exam, so that might have helped. But I did not feel 1 ounce of pain. So I am very disappointed in myself that I gave people on TikTok that much credit, that I let it make me so nervous that I almost didn't get an important test for my fertility journey because of what other people had to say about the test. So the purpose of me making this video is I hope that if you are nervous for the test and you come across this video, maybe it will ease some of your nerves. and follow for part 2 about another portion of my fertility journey that I listened to TikTok for, and it ended up being completely inaccurate, for me at least.